Hi, this is Jeff from Airstream Nerds, and I'm back with my third and probably final, at least for a while, video of our new Bronco. I know it's not Airstream camper related, but definitely could take this camping with us if we wanted to.
Airstream song, cruising to the campsite singing our song. Airstream song, we are the Airstream Nerds.
I know this isn't really a mod or add-on or anything, but with the dogs going into the back seat, this is a nice little setup. It's got a pocket for leash, dog poop bags, whatever. These sides zip up once you get them in there, which protects your door and such. Perfect size for the back seat of the four-door. Here's an interior decorative thing. I bought these little stainless steel latch covers. Nothing fancy. Just, they weren't that expensive. Just another Bronco touch. So you can see they have the Bronco horse emblem and the name on them. Pretty cool. I got them on all four doors. Next up, I have this Hooke Road cargo basket. Now, I love this cargo basket when the vehicle has no top on. The only issues, as you can see, is you can reach through there. I thought about it for a minute and I put the Pelican box in there. Pelican box has 6 latches. It's more of a pain in the butt to try to open. You definitely can't take the whole thing. You can't fold the seats down because I have this latch holding the seats. So there's really no way to get in the back here. Now, with the door closed, and this is one of the things I couldn't see when I was first trying to buy this, is you've got a pretty good gap here. You easily can get to the bags there. So what I was thinking of doing is making a piece of metal, that maybe a piece of 1/8" aluminum or something rigid that will go, that I can bolt to the slats here and just have it meet this end here. And then at the same time, if I bolted the same kind of thing here, that would eliminate any kind of reach through, except this little bit here, which you're not going to eliminate anything. So I've essentially decided to leave it as is. One other issue is it has to come off when you're putting the top on. And it's not easy. As you can see, this is a wraparound, so it's literally, you've got to unbolt the 4 bolts on each side and literally disassemble the whole thing to take it out in between your naked sessions or roofless sessions or whatever. So it's a bit of a pain there. Probably another solution down the road will come up that is better, that I can leave on when the top is off. But for now, this and the Pelican box is a pretty good combo. While we're back here, I also replaced the little 4-inch pods with the SSV Works pods, much larger. They're 6.5-inch speakers in there. I have replaced my 4-inch speakers with the AudioFrog GS 6.5 coaxials. A much wider range in the back now. It's a good change, a good choice, I feel. And while we were in here, we have taken apart lots of places, the panels, the floor, and there's a bunch of sound shield deadening to keep the metal rattling from the factory sub, which I still have. This is a Bimini top from Bronco Canvas, Bimini.com. I've had it on all week. it has been excellent. You can see from the videos beside us here that it does a good job driving down the road as well. It's attached by various bungee cords and screw-in knobs. The Bimini itself is waterproof, but of course you got all the cracks, so it's not going to hold water out, but it's a very nice product. Switching out the trim rings from these to these. Pretty easy, only took a couple of minutes. You do not have to remove the panels to do it. I did the first one just so I could see easier what I was doing, but I got in there no problem. Just puts a bit of color in the interior ceiling that's like all black. So a little bit of orange to go with the rest. And here's the across the back. There it is. And that one. Okay, let's talk about the rest of the outside. Here's one of these lights. It's the Infinite Offroad RGB+W 12-piece 8-watt light kit. Rock lights that I had installed. This is just one of the many colors that I can change on the fly. And I believe I have to see here. They have a remote. They're RGB. I got it upside down. They're RGB lights, but they also have actual white. So I can have actual white lights for actual rock crawling lights, not just for you can go through the colors. Different ways. Obviously, or just pick one color. Okay, this is how dark it is. I got the door open so the IAG lights are on. But this is the rear lights that we have added. And unlike before, I added this light in the back, which basically lights up the whole area in the back of the vehicle. The Tekk short antenna. Now, I live in a populated area, Washington, D.C. area, and I have not noticed any difference with reception. Your mileage may vary, but I like the little stubby short antenna. And I purchased this bracket here. Used to be mounted to that screw there, and I decided I didn't like it because it was only attached to one screw, and there was a couple times where it got bumped and the whole mechanism twisted. So I got a bracket. This is off of Amazon, and applied. As you can see the video, I didn't mention, but it definitely, they work with the mirrors. So you've watched up to this point and you're wondering what the heck, none of that stuff really cost that much money. Well, this was what I spent my money on for this round. The twin onboard ARB compressor kit. Let me hook it up and we'll see how it sounds and what it does. Okay, I also purchased a pump-up kit. Now, pump-up kit comes with the cover, the adapter that screws into the compressor, and the hose, and a couple of different types of parts for the hose. So I only bought the hose, even though I had another one. It's a really nice lightweight hose. It's long enough to reach the back where the tires are. So I can keep this one on board, and it'll be handy for when we are not planning on an off-road. I've got it connected to my switch wand. You can hear that's how long it took to pump up. So automatic switch, pressure switch, so builds up pressure and shuts off. Now, there are plenty of videos out there that test how long it takes to pump it up. It's just a couple of minutes. I haven't really researched the amount of time, but it is pretty quick to pump up a tire from, let's say you're off-roading at 15 PSI, back up to 30, it's like a minute and a half a tire or 2 minutes a tire, something like that. But we have a hose that can blow stuff out. It's not that loud. It recirculates fast, as you can see. Now, this isn't the ideal use for this, but it will work just to blow a little dust off of something. Obviously it's working. And like I said, this is one of those things that I wanted to do right off the bat. But you know, between the pump up kit and the compressor and the KR off-road mount, which is nice because you don't really need to relocate anything. It just sits on top. It doesn't get in the way of the cover if you happen to have the engine cover. It works well with it. As you can see, it sits right there. There's no issue with the connector hitting the padding. One thing I like to make sure I do is I turn off the pump and then release the pressure in the pump before I take the hose off. And before I wrap this thing up, I'd like to say thank you to Brandon from BW Customs for working with me to make custom brackets to keep the foot pegs from rotating. The way he originally had it was a round washer here. So basically this would sit and it would stop here, but it would wrap all the way back and hit down here. So he worked with me. This is I think variation number 2 for a bracket or a washer stop, whatever you want to call it, that keeps it from moving too much. Now, these are prototypes. The new ones, these have a coating on there, a rubber coating, so they don't mess up your hinges there. And he did the same thing with the rear ones. You know, you have, before this thing pivoted all the way, because the nuts are attached to a pivoting washer that your door attaches on. So these things are just, once you tighten them down, they're allowed to move all the way around. So with these brackets on all 4 sides, I'm able to have my foot pegs and not really have to worry about them hitting my vehicle. So that was a nice, thank you Brandon for that. And I'd also like to say thanks to Maddie at It's CraftyUpInHere, or let's see, what was it? It's CraftyUpInHere, just CraftyUpInHere Etsy store, who made these pretty cool stickers for me. That one sits, you really can't see them when the top is up. Now she's already selling them in her store, and I had pictures of these, real good pictures of these, through the glass because I didn't have my top off when I installed these. We actually installed these with the top on, so it kind of went inside. It's a little bit of a pain, but they came out good. So this is the foot, big foot with the little Sasquatch in the box. I don't know what she calls them on her page, but you can find them and I imagine you can get them in all kinds of different colors. Green worked good on the orange on my Bronco. I think they're a nice little thing. You really, unless you're looking for them, you don't really see them. You definitely can't see them through the dark windows. But again, thanks Maddie, excellent product. So I'm pretty sure we're done with all the changes we're gonna make to our Bronco. If we do anything, it might be a soft top. It might be changing the basket in the back like I said earlier. But all in all, we're pretty happy with the way our Sasquatch has turned out. We love the way it drives. We love the way it rides. Looks good. And super happy with everything I've done. Once again, this is Jeff.
And Jenny.
And we're the Airstream Nerds. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, put any comments below, and we'll see you on the next trip.